Okay, so one last thing that I wanted to mention about Uranus and Aquarius, and Uranus energy in general, is that it's very rebellious. And like I mentioned before, it could be very unpredictable. So wherever Uranus is in your chart is where you can kind of be unpredictable or rebellious. And if we're talking about Uranus and Aquarius, where it rules, Uranus is all about freedom, all about liberation. So that energy will stop at nothing to have that freedom and to have that type of liberation. Uranus doesn't like to be tied down. Uranus is not of the norm. Uranus energy is alien to the norm. It's not about being normal. It's about being different. It's about standing out, being inventive. It's very but it's also very humanitarian. Like, we are the world, we are the children. We're all human beings. Why don't we all just, get along and stuff like that? Now I'm doing all different kinds of stuff in my hair right now. But yeah, that's Uranus, and I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so we're finally coming towards the end, talking about Neptune and Pluto, and I am going to only be talking about the rulerships because at this point, it really don't matter. At this point. So Neptune rules Pisces. Now, there's so much to say about Neptune, and I just don't have the time, honey. But Neptune rules the arts, it rules Hollywood, it rules drugs and alcohol and addiction and illusions and delusions and beauty and loss and being victims and victimization and homelessness. And Neptune rules spirituality, mysticism, magic, psychic, so Neptune can be like extreme highs and like extreme lows when it comes to like what it represents. And it's so fitting for Pisces because Pisces is just it's so many things merged in one. And that's kind of the theme of Pisces. That's why Pisces is known as being a chameleon, because it can merge all of these energies in one. And because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, it kind of merges a lot of the energies of all of the signs into that one. So with Neptune is actually in Pisces right now. Neptune in Pisces is promoting a lot of, I guess there's no other way of saying it, a lot of like fakeness when it comes to what we're dealing with in social media. A lot of illusions, delusions. We don't know what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? People getting, fake asses and stuff these days. And, the whole, like I said before, Neptune has to do with beauty, and so does Pisces. So the whole contouring, the whole like constructing your face to like make it look like you don't have plastic surgery. Like, now people have to like tell people, no, I don't have plastic surgery, because now everybody like thinks that everybody has plastic surgery, particularly in Hollywood. So there are a lot of things that, are like coming to life and things like that. Neptune energy is very secretive, though. It's also very deceptive. So think about that when it comes to Hollywood and these stars. Everything that is not always what it should be. Don't believe. What is the saying? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. You know what I'm saying? So beware of that Neptune trying to take over you, that ideal, that fantasy, because it's not real. But the good things about Neptune is, the psychic ability and the compassion and things like that. But be careful, because sometimes you can do too much for other people. Neptune energy and Pisces energy are kind of go hand in hand when it comes to playing the victim or continuing to help victims or enabling them or whatever. Like I said before, Neptune rules like artists, like musicians as well, but it could also rule addiction. So a lot of these creatives can have addictive, tendencies and things like that. Neptune it's a pretty dark planet. Like it's like bright and fun and airy, but it's like an ideal. Like it's all like a fantasy or something. Like it's like not real or something. So, you know, sometimes you need to have that practicality in your chart to bring you down to life, because if Neptune is prominent in your chart, your head is always gonna be in the clouds. So that's something to think about when it comes to Neptune energy. So now we're moving on to Pluto. We are finally at the last planet. Yes! So Pluto rules Scorpio. And I am a Pluto and Scorpio. I'm of the Pluto and Scorpio generation. Okay. So, oh, and I forgot to mention, I said my Saturn was in Capricorn. My Uranus is also in Capricorn, and my Neptune is in Capricorn. So I have a stellium in Capricorn. I'm of that generation that has Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn all in Capricorn. And this was kind of like, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, like maybe, I don't know the exact years, but 88 to maybe like 92-ish or something like that had that stellium. Just a little information for you. But Pluto and Scorpio, I'm of the Pluto and Scorpio generation as well. So Pluto is obviously at home in Scorpio, but not without its issues. So Pluto represents power. Pluto represents prominence. Pluto also represents destruction. It represents criminality. It can also represent corruption, transformation, regeneration. So if you have like Pluto prominent in your chart, or like Scorpio prominent in your chart, that could denote like plastic surgery and things like that. So a lot of these people that are getting a lot of plastic surgery, or trans women and men, I like to see their Plutonian placements to see if they're a Plutonian and if they have a lot of that energy in their chart. And most often than not, they probably do. So it also, I mean, Pluto also rules death. I mean, it just does. Saturn also rules death too. So it could have to deal with death as well. But Pluto definitely does rule death, and it can mean death in the literal sense, but also death figuratively. Because remember, Pluto has to deal with transformation and regeneration and things like that. And I totally went off kilter way back when I was, I think, talking about Venus. So I said Venus was akin to the second house. Mars is akin to the first house, not so much the eighth house, even though it rules Scorpio. So I'm just kind of going to go with the major rulers. Jupiter is akin to the ninth house, because that's Sagittarius energy. Saturn is akin to the 10th house, Capricorn energy, and Uranus is akin to the 11th house, Uranus energy, and Neptune is akin to the 12th house, which is Pisces energy. So Scorpio is akin to the 8th house. So back to what I was talking about. So Pluto does represent other people's money. So it also represents debts. It represents acquiring money from other people, or maybe working with other people's money and things like that. And again, this is a generational aspect. So you're not going to see individual characteristics. This is a generational planet rather. So you're not really going to see individual characteristics unless it's aspecting a personal planet, but just the energy of Pluto in general is that. It also denotes a very, very private person. Like Neptune is more secretive, but Pluto is more like private. Like, I just don't want to share. Like, but Neptune energy will just be deceptive just for the sake of being deceptive. They just could be liars, you know, and cheaters and things like that. But Pluto is more like, it's none of your business. That's Pluto energy, you know, that's very Scorpio in nature. I'm trying to think. Oh, Pluto also represents surgery. So like, you know, surgeons cutting people up, putting people back together again and stuff like that, dissecting things, like anything that has to do with kind of cutting stuff up and putting stuff back together again. That's Scorpio, Plutonian energy, waste, anything like that. Obviously, since Pluto rules Scorpio, it does have to deal with sex. So very sexual planet, especially if it's in contact with one of those personal planets. Like if you got like Pluto conjunct Venus, it's like going to be a very magnetic, emotional attraction, or powerful attraction to somebody. You're going to have a powerful presence if you have that in your natal chart. And if you have that in like synastry, it's just going to be very powerful. It's going to be difficult to shake that energy. That's a type of energy that is difficult to let go of. You know what I'm saying? So Plutonian energy and Scorpio energy can be of the obsessive type. So you need to be aware of that. So I am going to conclude this video here. It was about 17 parts of this video. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. I should have known, because as a Mercury in Gemini, I do babble and I go on and on and on and on and on and on. So I apologize for that, but I hope that you got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the planets and the signs that they rule. Hope that I gave you more insight into astrology and how to actually view different aspects of your chart other than just your sun sign, because remember, we are all about taking it from the sun sign and beyond. So thanks again. Don't forget to check out my other channel, Dana Monet, where, you know, I promote my music and my singles and my live performances and things of that nature, because I am a singer. I do have a song out right now. It's called Good Karma, and I will be having another release coming out very, very shortly. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Links are below. And I have tags and end credits all up in here, so you're just a click away from subscribing to both of my channels, listening to my songs and videos, and hopefully buying or streaming, you know, giving me views on these videos. Hey, all of the above. I'm multifaceted. Like I said before, I'm trying to work towards my Pisces North Node and all of that good stuff. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and see you later. Bye.